All right. Let's talk about one of the most important skills that a man should master, not just with women, but in general. This skill will allow you to avoid uncomfortable situations. It would allow you to walk through life relatively unhindered. It will allow you to attract women and the respect of men, and it is a great way to protect yourself from any unwanted or unnecessary interactions. So, this skill that every man should master is presence. Okay? Now, let me explain what I mean by that. We've all been in a room with a multitude of people, and then someone walks in, and everybody in the room just looks at them. Right? It doesn't happen for everybody, but there's one guy or one girl who just walks in the room, and then everybody's just like, okay, they're here. That's because they have presence, and they've mastered it. Now, for a man to master it, it's important. It's mostly about body language, and body language like projects this, I don't want to say aura, but this visage of, who you are. For a man, how a man does it, ideally, is in their walk and the way they stand. So usually, a man who has presence, his shoulders are squared, his chest is upright a little bit, his face is tilted upwards a little bit. He looks at everything and nothing at the same time. So what I mean by that is that he sees through you. He doesn't look at you, he looks through you, right? Now, when he walks slowly, carefully, but with purpose. Now, when you do these things, you'll start to realize that people start moving around you. They try to get out of your way. And the reason that they do that is because their hindbrain is signaling to them, okay, this man is a predator, right? And their body will unconsciously just move out of the way, right? Now, this attracts women, okay, because women like men who are dangerous. That's just a fact of life. If the man is dangerous, then that means that man can protect the woman and her offspring. So that's just a biological incentive right there. As for men, when you walk with presence, or you sit with presence, or you act like you have a strong presence, men either avoid you or they respect you and come towards you and say, hey, they try to interact with you, talk with you in some way, shape, or form because they like how you present and conduct yourself. Just to give you an example, I never had presence. I never used to have presence. It was always it was a skill I had to learn before I realized what it was, because I used to always hate where I'd be at a party or a function, and no matter where I'd stand, people would always pass through and bump into me. And I would hate it. I would hate it. Because I'm like, why do you keep bumping into me? I move a different way, they always bump into me. Now, when people are maneuvering through a crowd, the mind subconsciously looks for the path of least resistance. So if people keep bumping into you, they believe you subconsciously are the weakest and easiest to bypass. Now, when I start learning how to master my presence, people stopped doing that. People stopped bumping into me and hitting me. They would walk around me or find a different way. And once I realized that, I was like, okay, this is important. And it's to the point where now I see it everywhere. Every time I walk into an unfamiliar environment or even a familiar one, I always walk slowly but with purpose, like I'm never in a hurry. Like everything I do is for me and no one else. And people avoid me or look at me with interests or intrigue. And it's really helped me with women and with making new guy friends, because guys like to be with men that they respect. So it's really a skill that a lot of people, I watch a lot of, like self-improvement and dating content, and they don't really touch on this. I've never seen anybody mention it. I don't know if I'm the first, I don't know. But presence is very, very important. It also can save you from getting into a fight. Now, there was one time I was out with friends, and a guy just came up to me and he shit tested me. He was like, "Yo, my friend said I gotta smack you." Right? Now, I honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't been in a fight in years, and I really miss it, because there's something about just fighting that, I don't know, it just gets my blood pumping. But anyway, so now I'm thinking in my head, okay, it's showtime. So I process the situation. I'm like, okay, so this is a test right here. Let's go. So I straighten my shoulders. I let my hands hang loosely by my sides, and I look him in the eye and I say, "Do it." As soon as I did that, he was like, "Oh, I was just playing. I didn't. No, I'm not. I meant like slap you, like dap you up. That's all I meant, bro. I didn't mean anything by it." And as soon as I saw that, I was like, if I acted weak in any way, he would have done it. But because I presented myself as ready, because my presence said, okay, this guy's prepared, it avoided the fight. Now, obviously, I wouldn't have minded getting into the fight, but I'm still glad that my presence was able to command that sense of respect. So at the end of the day, you should always work on your presence. How you work on it, start paying attention to how you walk. Start paying attention to how you sit. When you sit, you should be, try to make yourself as big as possible. It shows that you're comfortable, like you own the place, right? The face is also very important. So you try to, practice in the mirror, but do like a default face, right? So for example, mine is like this. That's mine. It's really like a blank face, but my eyes, I make sure my eyes are focused, like piercing, right? And when I do that, whenever I look at somebody, they either look away, or there are some other dudes. So now I'm going off on a tangent, but just because you have presence doesn't mean you're fucking Superman, okay? There are other guys in the world who also have presence too, and they will clash with you. So there have been some instances where I have presence, another guy has presence, we're walking, and because we are both secure and comfortable, we're not gonna switch our paths. So we're gonna end up on a collision course. So now we're playing chicken. So whoever moves first or shifts first is the bitch. So I can't tell you, there's been like 10 or 12 times where this has happened, where I'm walking in a straight line toward my destination, some other guy is walking in my destination, we are aware that we're gonna cross paths. Now I'm not gonna deny it, there have been a couple times where I've been bitched out, where I said, ooh, and then I just move out the way, I was bitched out, that was me. He had a stronger presence than me, the man won, I gotta give it to him, right? You're not just gonna be at the top of the food chain once you master this. There's always gonna be a guy with bigger presence than you, especially if they have status or money. So that's always gonna be a thing. But in your localized area, your goal is to command the most presence in the room, any room that you enter. That is always gonna be the goal, because that will give you the most respect and the most noticeability in that environment. and it will protect you from unwanted interactions. Just in closing, work on your body language. When you sit down purposefully. You know, don't try to just relax like this. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to do. When you look at somebody, look them in the eye. Okay? When you speak to somebody, speak slowly if you're unfamiliar with them. If they're your friend, then speak normally. But speak with intent. Don't try to use filler words like I'm still working on that. See. So you got to work on how your whole image is presented. When you walk into a room, you want people to be like, who is that? That's what you want. And in order to do that, you have to work on your physical appearance, obviously, the way you dress, your demeanor, but also your presence. When you walk into a room, do you command attention? Does everybody look at you and say, who is that? That is what you want. That is very important. So yeah, like I said, I don't see a lot of guys who are on YouTube talk about this, and I think it's a really important trait to have, really important skill to master. So definitely think about that the next time you are going to an unfamiliar location. Try it out. You don't have to. It's going to be harder to enact with people who already know you because they're seeing that you're actively switching up. But in an unfamiliar environment, try it out and you'll see the effect it has. So, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you fuck with me, and yeah.